Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to the Daily Crack. Hope you're all doing spectacular this morning, or tonight, wherever it is you're watching from. So, we're here in Melbourne, and we are back in lockdown. And there's a good chance we're going to stay in lockdown. It was originally for 7 days. Now, there seems to be a handful of cases being added on each and every day. I think we're at 40 at the moment. And there's other places around the world that are slowly coming out of lockdown. And it's hectic. It's hectic. But what I have kind of noticed, and in talking to a few people, even in the kind of lead up to getting locked down, a lot of business owners and people that I know in either the fitness industry or, running bars and cafes and stuff, they were actually looking forward to the lockdown because it was going to give them a rest again. And you see what has happened. We've gone into last year, we had that long lockdown where we're all stuck at home. For some people that was somewhat stressful, but for a lot of people, they got used to it. And it was nice to be able to spend extra time with family and, and chill out and not be in this fucking rat race. And it's unfortunate to say that once we figured that out and, relaxed a little bit, that immediately once things opened up again, we went straight back into the rat race. So much so, probably doubled down on it so much so, that it exhausted us in a small space of time where we required and we were hoping for another lockdown in order to allow us to rest again. And I myself fell into that exact trap. I came out of lockdown and I discovered so much about myself and what I actually found valuable and what I valued most, which was my time. My time for myself and being able to, do things in the right way. I preach in the fitness industry the whole time and how important rest and recovery and sleep is. But really and truly, when I was running my gym and we weren't in lockdown, I wasn't really practicing those things. I was keeping myself going by pure fucking adrenaline, really. Not sleeping well at night, getting up ridiculously early, going to the bed ridiculously late, telling people the shit that I wasn't doing myself. And I was like, I'm a fucking charlatan. I'm a fucking hypocrite. What the fuck is going on? It wasn't until lockdown last year when I actually was able to explore and do things correctly. And now I'm able to give people advice on the things that they should be doing because I'm actually doing them myself. But I was exhausted. I was trying to run my gym and I got back. After the lockdown, I promised myself what I was going to do. I was going to, take some of the knowledge I learned during lockdown and apply it into non-lockdown life. And people back in Ireland and England and different places around the world where you're coming out of lockdown, I will advise you to do your best to bring that world that you're coming from into your new world. Do you need to be working all those hours? Is making all this money the most important thing to you? What have you learned? What have you found valuable about this time that you haven't been at work, that you've been working from home? What is it about that time that you can take with you? And do your best to hold on to it, because it's tricky. The world we live in today is just running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And if you don't come up for air, you get smothered in it. Fucking smothered in it. And now we are here in Melbourne, we're in the scenario, we're a very possible scenario that we ain't coming out of this lockdown in a week. We're probably going to be in it for a lot longer. I don't really hear of many people complaining about it. Maybe there is, but this is the thing. It's, again, we're getting this opportunity to rest and recover. But when we do get out of this, are we going to go straight back to the same shit? In and out of the rat race. I myself had made this decision just before, a couple of months ago, that I had to change something in my life. And the biggest change I made in my life is I sold my gym. Now, that wasn't a fucking easy decision to make. That was fucking hard. I've spent 10 years of my life building up a business. And the business, you know, I enjoyed it to a point, but it wasn't giving me my life. I wasn't building myself the life I wanted. Like, it was to continue running the gym for me, after I discovered, like, working online or whatever, meant I was taken away from the life I wanted to live. I was moving further away from it. And I wasn't happy about that idea. So I had to do something, and drastic action had to be taken. Was it an easy decision? No, it fucking wasn't. But an important decision to make nonetheless. And now I'm at the start of, lockdown has happened here. It's validated the reason for me selling my gym, because bang, we're back into this scenario again. And now, I'm not worried about lockdown, because now I have employment from the online space. But I'm getting my time back as well. And I am so appreciative of that now. It's the way I want to go moving forward. So I will ask you, what is it that you have learned from your lockdown experience? And what is it that you can take into non-lockdown life? Moving forward, getting out of this. Because this is the most important thing to think about. What is it that's most important to you? Is it this rat race life? Or is it the life that you truly want? Because I feel it's achievable. I've managed to achieve it myself. And I believe you can too. Maybe some drastic action has to be taken, but when one door closes, another one fucking opens. It's as simple as that. So that's my rant for today. Those of us here in Melbourne that are going back into lockdown, there's lots of things at your fingertips that you can have control over. Eat well, get out, get exercise, fucking keep in contact with people. Those of you that are coming out of lockdown back in Ireland and places like that, remember to not just slip back into that rat race immediately. Take your time, build up, appreciate what you've left, even though it was a hard fucking time. Appreciate where you are and the values that you established during that time. And don't just fucking take off into the horizon at 1,000 miles an hour and forget the connections that you made and the time that you had to yourself. This is an unusual fucking time we're in, but there's so many lessons that we can learn from it. All right, boys and germs, that's the Daily Crack for today. Giddy up.